Good morning and welcome inside the Frank Crane Center. Today's BC ball hockey contest, the men's D Division semifinal, and it's the Kelowna Shamrocks taking on the Wolfpack. And there's a couple of notable players that we'll get to in a moment. Some of the top goal scorers for each club. And of course, this is where this round robin tournament starts to get a little more serious. The stakes stepped up as Sunday is all about the semifinals and ultimately the finals this afternoon here from the Frank Crane, with tickets to be punched to the 2027 Nationals. And certainly these two clubs, and that's the Wolfpack you hear in the background, they are revved up and ready to go. And the Shamrocks, they had a pretty low-key warm-up, just a lot of stretching and getting set. These are not as long as particularly as much as they are arduous and grueling as you get towards the latter half of the game, especially the late stages of the second, early third, when fitness levels get tested.
You on the right account?
Liam Daniels, he's set in goal as he gets back to his crease, and we are underway here in the men's D Division semifinal. The playoff round is live. Rowan in his own zone for the Wolfpack, circles behind his goal, fakes an outlet off to his right, waits for drawing of a man. There's a nice little flip to himself. Cochran in on goal, stick handling. Oh, and what a save off of the goal stick. I think it was the very tip of the wider part of the goal stick. And what an opening for the Shamrocks goaltender. Christopher Harris with a big test early within the first 30 seconds of this game. Wolfpack with control now in the Shamrock zone. Why not tee one up and let fly? And they did, but here's another play on the far side. Stick handling, Philippe Chaput passes to Austin Hawkins. Ball was played in, but the Wolfpack D gets in behind the goal and clears that one out. Sahai turns and deals in behind the Shamrock goaltender. Harris with that big test early, with Cochran breaking in on him after a nice little blade tip sent him away over the defender. In on goal, mano-a-mano, but Christopher Harris equal to the task. Wolfpack, good defensive play in their own zone, and they'll get the outlet onto the right wing. This time Sahai going down the far side, takes a shot, there's a save, and I think it got left pad before anything. Rebound was controlled, and that one was lifted high down the surface by Michael Pra, number 77, one of the D-men for the Shamrocks, and he'll be posting up on the left side here. Even though the face-off has been moved, it'll be to the right of goaltender Christopher Harris. And at the other end, Daniels, he's a big goaltender, and he's sporting some good numbers here so far in the round robin play. But Asmi, they're saying that ball crossed and went over the red line, so a little over and back action, very similar to lacrosse, and that's going to facilitate a face-off just outside the blue line of the Wolfpack. But that enables a full-scale change for the Kelowna Shamrocks. Face-off won by the Wolfpack there. Jacob Pruel with that drawback, but now up off of the far side boards. Wolfpack turn. There's the pass to Lalani. And he's got one breaking to the middle. Holds up though, waiting for some more traffic. Sahai joining the rush now. Left shooting forward. Stick handling, almost lost the handle, but he gets control back to Penny Kid, who shoots. He was looking for the tip always. Lalani picks up the rebound. Tries to go high slot, race for the ball, but that's kept in nicely. The ball was partially gloved down there in front of the goal by Kevin Mueller. And a couple of Shamrocks sliding there as they're trying to break up this play. There's a shot towards a good deflection in front as they were nearly able, the Wolfpack, to get a touch. Now they do on the backhand, off of the crest. Rebound is put into the pads, and that's covered up. And Christopher Harris has more work inside the crease, and he's showing up well here so far in this the early goings of this contest here. We're still within the first 4 minutes of play, first period. And again, thank you for being with us here. Myself and Nathan and Alum all want to bid you a good morning. I hope you've had some coffee or you're picking some up now, but we've got some BC semifinals in ball hockey to get to here. Working it up the far side boards, the Shamrocks decide to go back to the D. They're down by the glove of McGregor, and he's away. Played it to Patel. Raj Patel. That pass got knocked down, and nice stick handle there by Austin Hawkins. But it's broken up by Rowan. He's got a good stick as well, and he reverses nicely. And that'll set up McGregor, who slaps it off the boards, but it's still kept in. Dumped in deep off of the blade of Cole Williams. Ball is sent, though, on the return by the Wolfpack, and Patel. Quick button hook, lucky ball in through the middle, and just unable to pick it up the backside. The Wolfpack had a couple of men there, but they weren't really expecting it to be so far. Guerin had the closest touch. Now Cochran, he had that early breakaway attempt and the big save by Harris. Dyer puts it towards the goal. Oh, and that was a tip in front, and a great blocker reaction by Christopher Harris. He's down in the butterfly, pops back up. Oh, and that shot whistles wide on the tip. That ball changed directions on the way to Christopher Harris, maybe changed about a good foot by the time it hit the goal, and he had to react quickly. What a good blocker save that was, and the Shamrocks benefiting from some good goaltending here early. Off the near side boards, that sweeping pass by Brendan Wesley maybe need to be a little bit harder. Wilson for the Wolfpack. Ball was sent far side, but that was knocked down off the stick of David Crawford. And that helps the Shamrocks away on the near side. Jarrell Jahal, he gets intercepted as he got halfway up. Wilson got his stick in the middle. They were offside for a moment. You could hear the bench calling to get him back onside, and Wilson steps back. Now they're on. Partial change in effect. There's the stop up and a shot, and almost expecting that the goaltender, Christopher Harris, he's had much more difficult tasks here in the early goings, and he'll hold that one for the whistle, and that allows a 4-man change now for the Shamrocks. Proul will come out. Looks like he'll be into the face-off circle once again. Jacob Proul. He's up against Lalani. Kian Lalani wins it back. There's a hard shot by Penny Kid that goes wide of the target, but they maintain possession on the rebound. Lalani protecting the ball with his body, puts it towards the middle. Ball was loose. Harris didn't know where it was for a moment, and Proul gets in there and helps out the D. Gets it as far as center, but it's sent right back in on the backhand by the Wolfpack. In behind his own goal, Michael Pra. Up to Proul. That clearing went in off of Penny Kid, and that allows Allen to get back in support. And imagine the task for Jason Hunt in front of the goal as he was trying to see behind the big goaltender. Here's a partial break. Sahai inside, outside. Oh, and he wanted to go one more time to his forehand. Oh, and it looks like one of the Shamrocks defenders took one up near the face. There's a pass far side, and it's neatly cut out and sent back the other way by Austin Hawkins. Backhands it, and now they, at the threat of a high stick whistle from the referee, there's Randy Celli. Hard run on the far side, but he can't quite catch up with it before Alex Haynes gets to that one, plays it up off of the boards, comes out over the red line, and so now the Wolfpack have to vacate the zone and come and touch up, which they do. Dyer on the near side sends it in for the Wolfpack. He was being watched closely by Hunter Daniluk of the Shamrocks, who's on the floor now. And they go D to D, the Shamrocks do. That pass off the boards, it fortuitously got by Dyer, and now here's a chance off the wing, snapshot, and Rowan with a good stick interrupts that play. He's in behind the goal. He's got two Shamrocks sandwiching him on the end boards, but he's a big kid, and he's got his foot up against the ball and his blade, and he's going to hold that one for a whistle, and maybe the best of all options considering he was being double-teamed. Had two great games last night. Both were one-goal affairs. The Burnaby Blades able to wrap up a 5-4 win in their game against the Clappers Club. Ball is kept in over on the far side by the Shamrocks. Pass was a little bit too quick from Cole Williams. Now it's lifted high up off the glass. And they're calling a hand pass there as the ball was sent up along the far side boards with a hand pass, and that'll stop play. And so looks like they're going to move the face-off to just outside the Shamrocks blue line. Both teams with a couple of changes there on the stoppage. We're still knotted at zeros. An opening breakaway chance within the first 30 seconds for the Wolfpack, but they couldn't solve Christopher Harris, who fights off that most recent shot by Cochran from about 28 feet out. Now on the run, looking for the bounce pass. It was a little wanting, and Asmi getting in front of that one. Partial block, but recovery by the Wolfpack, and another shot, that one blocked by Hunter Daniluk. With a little bit of time, Austin Hawkins sending it to the near side. Moved down the floor by Cole Williams, snaps one that's off of the crest of the big goaltender. But he follows up the rebound, and he forces a glove save. Another shot, and good block there by Asmi. If he didn't get in front of that, I'm not sure that the goaltender would have had enough time to move from his left to his right. After that first initial save went off of his trapper. A thing to note is that this goaltender catches with his right hand, as he's in the minority of goaltenders that have that positioning. Now Sahai on the near side, he tries a wrist shot, and that's fought off by the blocker of Harris. Played behind the boards by Spencer Litton. Litton backhands to Michael Praw. Ball is played forward. David Crawford was threatening to break out, and now he's battling on the far side, tooth and nail, but a good defensive play by the Wolfpack. Asmi making a good play on the backhand before he leaves the surface, gets a change in. Sahai drops into the offensive zone now. He's got some help in the form of Reese Mann. Ball is kept in, loads, firing, Allen, and that one was blocked, and the Shamrocks applauding that sliding block. Sahai working the ball. Thought he was maybe interfered with. Backhand towards the goal. Lilani has a chance into the high slot, and that's given up. And now the penalty will be called, as it's a tripping call against the Shamrocks. And they just couldn't contain the winger up on the far side. And Cole Williams, he'll take the game's first penalty. And he gets called for tripping. So the game's first power play belongs to the Wolfpack. And they'll kick things off with a face-off over to the right of the Shamrock goaltender Christopher Harris, who's been one of their most valuable members so far, stopping that early breakaway by Cochran, who's in the face-off circle now. 30 seconds in, Rowan from the point. Up to the umbrella to Allen. Works it to the right side and looking for the proper option. Now Rowan has to back off, heads towards the red line, and now back in. Now they work it down low, looking for the quick cross in front, and it does get there, and it's a jammed rebound by Cochran, and it's a good goal, and it's a power play goal, says the referee, as Cochran was there to slam home the rebound after a good initial save on the near side by goaltender Christopher Harris, and finally they're able to poke a hole in that very tough protective barrier that Christopher Harris had here early. And with the man advantage, there was just too many Wolfpack players to contain as they crashed the net there and went searching for that rebound, and Cochran finds it for the game's opener. Proul battles for continued possession after that face-off. Asmi plays a bounce pass off of the boards, but it's Kevin Mueller that picks up for his club along the far side boards. Proul on the give and go, feeds the near side. He's got Alex Haynes. Haynes to the far side, shot and a big save, making himself big. Daniels coming out to the top of the blue semicircle, and he'll squeeze the pads on that one. His club has a 1-0 lead. He checks his angles. McGregor in the face-off dot. Can't win that one, but the clear in was broken up by the Wolfpack. Race for the ball. There goes McGregor, hot onto it. Has one in the middle, waits for help. There's a bouncing ball that was sent through the slot area. Guerin couldn't reach it, and now he's just forced to try and forecheck to break something up. Proul had a touch on it at center, but that was right onto the stick of Patel. Ooh, that backhand pass to Guerin. Maybe could have done more with that. Now working it off the wing are the Shamrocks. 2-on-4 for right now. Now they get some help. Back and forth they go. There's the one-time shot, and that's off of the blocker and coolly played behind the goal by Daniels. Sahai tries to play it off of the boards. There's a battle at the half wall, and now a big jam up right in front of the Wolfpack bench, which results in possession for the Shamrocks. They wait and touch up. They've got to get back now that they've come in onside. The ball is swept in. Daniels a little bit of an adventure behind his goal as he came out to challenge, and there was Hunter Daniluk searching for the ball. They try and send it cross crease. Daniels got into butterfly position but didn't have to make a save. There's an interception by the Shamrocks, and now on the near side, Austin Hawkins. He had it for a moment, but he was dispossessed on the contact. And now the Wolfpack starting up off of the far side. Sahai with that great speed of his that drew that penalty earlier as he tried to work it off of the far side boards. We're down to just a few seconds left in the period. And it looks like the Shamrocks are content to just run out the clock and be safe, and that is exactly how it plays out. And it's a goal for Cochran from the Wolfpack, and it's a power play marker, and that's where we stand right now after the first period of play. And a couple of Wolfpack players, including Allen, head out to congratulate their goaltender on a solid first period opening. And I thought the flow of play was pretty good overall for both sides. And it should be noted that even though it's a 1-0 scoreline for the Wolfpack, that certainly it could be a lot worse for the Shamrocks at this point. Great goaltending by Christopher Harris, and he's getting a little attention on the bench. I'm not sure what if that's maybe like a little think that the trainer has maybe a little portable fan that he's got his helmet off, and I think she might be helping cool him down. I think it's a little fan, but anyways, I know it's might seem inconsequential, but in these indoor arenas, even an overcast day, the temperatures can start to climb a little bit. And I just noticed one of the rink attendants coming in through, and lots of sunlight flooding in. It's pretty much weather-wise, it's pretty close to the same. We were around 20 degrees most of last night, and I think today is going to probably be up maybe in the early 20s there. And the Wolfpack enjoying a 1-0 lead here during this little 3-minute intermission in between periods. And I think the Shamrocks had some good ball control in that opening period, but they didn't have the full grade A chances that the Wolfpack were afforded, and especially how they sent several players, including Cochran and McGregor, hard into the slot. But again, it should be noted that both, well, there's several players in particular, but that have been creating space for their teammates on the Wolfpack. Lalani certainly one of those. Sahai also quite speedy. So that's something that the Shamrocks are going to have to try and maybe contain more positionally as a conglomerate. But they're only down a goal. It's only 1-0. And it's probably to be expected here in this men's D Division semifinal, as they get a chance to feel each other out, get a sense for their style of play, their ball movement, their positioning. And we're set for round 2 as Cochran wins that draw, plays it, though, back towards the wing, and that's knocked down. Rowan having to retrieve it. Nice little chip up the boards. Wilson's pass, though, needed a little more mustard, and he's going to get a penalty here. Some good sportsmanship, and Wilson just acknowledged the error right away. As I mentioned, his initial pass was a little bit light, and that gave the defender time to intercept the ball, and he knew he was in a tough position if he gave up the ball there, and he opts to take the penalty. I should say he more opted to try and make a play for the ball, but he did catch the forward's leg with his stick, and so it's a tripping call here. And now the Shamrocks with their first power play opportunity. That pass was nearly threaded through, and the ball is lifted up off of the score clock, and that'll stop the goings here. So the Shamrocks just 20 seconds off of this power play so far. It's interesting, a bit of an argument from the bench. I don't know if anyone could make that up on the background, but they were arguing that because it went off of the clock, that should be a delay a game or out of play penalty, but it's not considered thus, says the referees. Some ball movement up towards the top of the umbrella with Cole Williams. Gets the return, snaps it on goal, rebound, and that's moved away by the goal carefully by Rowan. His clear was blocked partially. Sticks whacking away at the rebound as Ryan Harrison got in there, but it does get sent all the way down the floor. And a quick out right back in over the blue onside, and now setting up with some room here are the Shamrocks. There's a shot from the right side, and that one whistles wide of the target. Austin Hawkins picking up the rebound. And there's a call on the play here, and there's some groans, and from the sounded like the Wolfpack bench was more upset than anything. And that got the attention of the referee, and it is a tripping penalty against the Shamrocks. So that power play now negated. So it'll be 4-on-4 for the next 41 seconds. And then after such time, the Wolfpack will have an abbreviated power play, 1:19 worth. So more floor to cover, more open area here in this circumstance. It doesn't happen super often, but during these offsetting or offset minors, time-wise, face off to the left of goaltender Christopher Harris, who's acquitted himself very well here through the early goings. Conceded the one power play goal, but there wasn't much he could do. He made the first stop. Pruill on the near side wing, snaps it, and that might have hit the goal stick of Daniels in net. Played towards the red line, kept alive though by the Shamrocks. There's a hard wire and fire, but that's blocked about 15 feet in front of the goal, and that allows the Wolfpack to take over possession. Sahai in his own zone, just 5 seconds remaining in the minor to Wilson. He's ready to step out, and he'll join Sahai and crew on the rush, or does he head right to the bench? No, he's looking for direction. Looks like he's to stay out. Shamrocks have to be careful here. Lalani with that speed, he anticipated. He moves in, picks up the ball. And a quick change as Wilson gets to the bench. The Wolfpack want to go to work here. Asmi lays it down off of the half wall, calling for the ball on the point. Now the quick touch to Lalani. Lalani, a left shooting forward, plays it down to the goal line. There's a saucer pass in front, looking for the quick one time, and it just hopped over the stick. You could hear the bench call 30 seconds, and that's how much left on the power play here. That's the Wolfpack. There's a diving challenge. Might have hurt one of the forwards for the Shamrocks as he slid on top of the stick. There's the cross floor, and that one just bounces up over the goal. Difficult ball to control. Now Lalani activates towards the goal, steps back up. There's a short side shot, and that's turned away. Christopher Harris watches now as he hears the other paddle at the other end clacking. Power play's almost over. Now stepping out onto the surface. 5 aside with the backdoor play, and it's not a power play goal, but it comes just on the heels of. And Christopher Harris did everything he could, but the Wolfpack grab a 2-0 lead, and it might as well have been a power play goal as they hadn't quite gotten their man fully back into action before that cross surface pass made it to the stick side of goaltender Harris. And it's a 2-0 lead here, and the first one was a power play marker, and the second one just seconds after the power play expires. Wolfpack good for a 2-0 lead. The Shamrocks looking for a bit of an offensive spark here. There's the pass over the line. A couple of players going towards the goal. But most of the battle along the far side half wall as the Wolfpack try and stick handle their way off the wall, and a pass to Raj Patel. Patel sending it in from distance, and he's trying to force the cover from the goalie, and he gets what he wanted. And Christopher Harris, in a little bit of disgust, backhands the ball over towards the face-off dot where he knows he's going to have to defend from here. Over to his left. Randy Chelly hot on the ball after that face-off win by the Shamrocks, and he's giving them some fits inside their own zone as he applies some heat, and it's really causing problems. But now right in front of their own bench, the Shamrocks battling for it, but again Patel stepping in there and now gets a little bit of assistance. Randy Chelly coming up top, but he's not going to commit to head down low until they have full possession. And the Shamrocks, it's on them though to find a pass out of their zone here. The defenseman looks like he's waiting for something to develop, and now he gets a little bit of help in the form of Michael Pra as they go D to D. bounce pass off the boards was good, but the forward, Ryan Harrison, just couldn't turn in time to find the ball. He's a right shooting forward, but would have been helped if he was a left shooting forward, the way he had to turn to find that one off of the boards, but it was a good clear. This one, Rowan has to turn back, and he's being watched closely by Darren Walkowski. Walkowski got his stick on it. Now he's helped turn it over for the Shamrocks. There's the loose ball. There's a shot fought off by the blocker of goaltender Daniels, and the Shamrocks appealing for a penalty as Alex Haynes argues that he was interfered with, but the referee says you both went down. That's what I could hear up here. So that is the decision on the floor. It was a coincidental contact. Shamrocks didn't enter quite yet, and that pass partially intercepted. Oh, and a good recovery by the Shamrocks, at least for the moment, sweeping it out towards center, but stepping up was Cochran, and they're going to call that on the offside as they didn't have legal entry here. So the face-off will be very close to where the offside occurred, and Lalani will step into the face-off circle. He's going to face off against Darren Walkowski, who helped create that last chance for the Shamrocks, that one-time shot that was stopped by the blocker of Daniels. Now it's sent in by the Wolfpack. They hold the 2-0 lead. We've got just over 6.5 remaining here in the second stanza. Ball is played on the aerial here to the near side for the Shamrocks. Jason Hunt putting the ball wide of the goal. Gets in on top of the defender, but the ball is lifted out towards center. And now Sahai putting his head down and barreling down the floor. Gets to the ball first. Through the crease. Goaltender came across, but Lalani cracks one high and hard off the glass, and that one might have stayed in the back of the net had it gone anywhere near the mouth of it. The ball might not have ever come out. That one was hit very hard by Lalani. Now over the line and onside. Darren Walkowski using his body to fend off Sahai, but plays the ball on the wall cycle. Allen gets there first, though, for the Wolfpack, and he plays it along the end boards. Shamrocks need to get some sort of offensive possession here. Now Lalani picks up. He's got Sahai on the near side, one on the trail. Now he sends it across, but a good defensive stick by the Shamrocks. And David Mueller getting back into position to help break up that initial chance. Hard cross ice to Sahai. Loads, fires, and Christopher Harris getting over, made sure the angle was completely cut off and suffocated, and he swallows up that ball for a stop. And he's been pretty solid for the boys in green and yellow. Sahai getting some glove taps for his efforts, racing in and getting possession of that ball on that most recent play. Ball is played back to Asmai. Someone's lost their stick. It was a Shamrock, but he's recovered now. Patel picks up for the Wolfpack. He'll turn and deal off the end boards. McGregor issuing instructions. They get the cycle going. Tries to return the ball to him, but can't find him initially. Ball is played around to the far side. Patel, he goes down. Referee does have his arm up, and we do have a penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the Shamrocks for tripping. And the Shamrocks don't want to keep doing this to themselves. There's been so much drama around these power plays and the deadly results they've produced for the Wolfpack. And they'll get another opportunity here, just under 5 minutes to go in the middle frame. Olivier Girard, he's the one that's been pointed out, and he's going to sit in the box. He hopes for the full 2-minute duration, meaning his club hasn't been scored on to let him out early. Now up top of the umbrella, trying to close in the action a little bit. The Wolfpack go to work. Reese Mann waiting on the top right point, and the ball will come to him. Right shooting defender. Lays off down below the goal line. Lalani looking at his options. Snaps it. That one was off the defender, and that's a good block. And the Shamrocks just backhanded in Lalani with a fierce back check. Only gave them so much time to work with, and he's strutting out with Rowan now as they hit the red line. Now the blue. They're in over the line. Rowan driving towards the goal. Puts on the brakes. Takes a bit of a shove, but he lays it up to the umbrella. There's the snapshot. That one was mostly blocked by the Shamrocks. Didn't make it on goal. Lalani, top of the face-off circle. As they work it around the circumference of that circle, there's a shot looking to go low. Ball was batted out. And that one's down the surface. Back to collect his Reese man. His goaltender telling him 30 seconds. And that's what we got. Asmai off of the wall. Goes for the chip pass. Backhand was good, but Cochran had his stick knocked immediately. Allen way up top. Loads, fires, and that one's high. Lands up on top of the goal. And wisely, Christopher Harris covers his glove up over the net. And what I believe is an extra ball up top there. And the referee's like, yeah, I'm going to take one of those. We can't have that sitting up there. So a face-off now over to the right of goaltender Christopher Harris. There's some sort of commotion over on one of the benches there on... I think they're trying to pinpoint who was responsible for the ball going up on top of the net, but I believe it was just after the shot off of the glass and the way it bounced, it actually went up. So it'd be like going off the post and out of play. And we are back underway. Just 7 seconds left on a power play. Here's a steal, though, at the line. It's the Shamrocks off of the face-off. But a great recovery by Asmai, and now they're back to full strength. Guerin. There's the hold-up off the far side wall. Sahai in behind the goal. You could hear a stick clacking out front as they had some traffic out front, and Oland really wanted the ball. Now he has it, moves in, snaps one, scores! Josh Oland. And it was Oland that was clacking his stick in the slot. And he is some kind of jazzed up after that goal. He got out there, made a lot of noise, got to the right position, but it was that hard, low snapshot. And it's a 3-0 lead for the Wolfpack, and they are now in the driver's seat after that goal by Josh Oland. The Shamrocks were just unable to get the ball out. Here's a ball off the far side, and Rowan, he went charging towards the goal, and he got a shot off from about 16, 17 feet out. And he put Christopher Harris's trapper to work on that play as the goaltender had gone up towards the top of the red paint, but he was already back to where he is now at the tip of the blue semicircle. And nearly falling backwards, Rowan tries to drift one in from distance. Sahai picks up the loose ball. There was a deflection there off of one of the Shamrocks. And there is a penalty coming as one of the Shamrocks goes down in a heap along the boards. And it looks like Eli Rowan, who had that last chance on goal, is going to be the one. Some kind of a trip there. It was a little bit difficult to see, but it was from behind the player, so he never had position, and the stick came out. So far, no pay dirt yet for the Shamrocks on the power play, but this would be an outstanding opportunity to try and alleviate the pressure created from that last goal that made it 3-0. right now, 3-1 is certainly a very appealing and appetizing proposition for the Shamrocks. Get them some life here back in the game. There's the fake shot from the point. Comes off the wall. Oh, and an awkward save, but a good one. Oh, Daniels just made the trickiest save he's had to make. Oh, he had to really react with his left pad. He almost had to turn his leg inwards to make that save. It was awkward, but he made it. Shamrocks working it on the perimeter, but nothing through the middle yet. Ball bounces over, and Daniels didn't know much about it. And the ball is cleared up, and it hits the stop or the clock at center, and that'll come back inside the zone for a face-off. Looks like over to the right of goaltender Daniels. Now just 1:04 left in second period action, and interestingly enough, 1:05 left in the power play for the Shamrocks. They hope to not finish the period on the power play as they move that ball around. Albania. Dennis Guerin. They score, and they got some life as they moved the ball around quickly, and it was a beautiful feed off of the half wall by Guerin. And some much-needed offense for the Shamrocks with 46 seconds left in the second period. They hit their first marker, and it's a power play goal. And as I mentioned, they didn't want to finish the period on the power play. They've accomplished that mission, and they've given themselves some life here with 46 seconds to go in period number 2. So the Shamrocks, their ball movement pays off. They had some good quick passes, and as I mentioned, Guerin really had a lightning feed there, and he has the ball now as he comes down the floor one more time. Finds a man in the middle. Shot towards the goal. That was knocked down, and the rebound played forward by the Wolfpack, but again, still hungry with just 7 seconds left on the clock. There's a shot, goes off of the leg of Allen, and a big wind-up. That shot on goal, and a little bit of theatrics there by the defender. A nice block to round out the period for the Wolfpack. So they trade goals, power play markers in that second period, but thankfully for the Shamrocks, they found some offense and they found a way to get on the board as they were doing a better job on that power play, moving the ball around, and just that quick movement that's so necessary to open up maybe a little lane here or a little thread area over here. And indeed, the Kelowna Shamrocks moving the ball around with aplomb there. There's a good point shot there from Cole Williams that initially kind of got the whole play rolling, and so far he's been quite an important spark. Michael Pra also with a good pass off of the near side wall to help the Shamrocks get into a little better position. It's a pretty daunting task going into the third period down 3-0, but they found some life here towards the end of the second period. And for their part, the Wolfpack Daniels had to make I thought a very difficult save there on that ball that got redirected that was headed his direction, but his left leg, he was able to kind of bring it back out from the somewhat extended position it was in towards his body, but if you could imagine your left foot, your great toe, sort of crossing over and pointing across your other leg. And that's probably the best way I can describe that save that Daniels made, but it was a big one, and it's pretty clutch now looking back. So instead of having only a 1-goal cushion, the Wolfpack still enjoy a 2-goal lead here in this men's D division semifinal. Thank you for joining us here this morning inside the Frank Crane. Some coffee and some BC ball hockey action here at the Provincials in Nanaimo. Another beautiful day on tap. It's a little windy out, but the sun is out. And the Wolfpack, that's quite a team entry, team cry as they get set for this third period of action. They're hoping is the final period. Spencer Litton on the right D here with centerman Ryan Harrison set to take this draw. He's up against Cochran, who has a goal. He also had a great breakaway opportunity just within the first 30 seconds of the game. Christopher Harris making a fantastic stop, and first possession goes to the Shamrocks on that face-off win. Harrison heading in on the forecheck. He's going to force Dyer of the Wolfpack in behind his goal, but he manages to play it on the wing, and here come the Wolfpack with Cochran making a strong run towards the goal. Ball doesn't get there. He's going to have to fetch it. But on the near side, Wilson had the ball for a moment. There's the backhand, but to no one in particular for the Shamrocks, and so setting up behind their own goal. Ooh, look at this here. Some quick down floor action. Harrison getting in hard and quick. He nearly got the ball in front of the goal in a very fortuitous position. And all of the bench alerting the referee to the high stick, which I'm sure he was already aware of, but that'll get a stoppage here. We're just 50 seconds into the third period, and it's a 3-1 lead for the Wolfpack. They've benefited from some good goaltending, yes, but ultimately it's their speed that's caused a lot of problems here today and put the Shamrocks into a couple of positions where they either had to take a penalty or potentially give up an odd man situation on their goaltender, and the two of those have been converted. Ball is flipped out of play from behind the goal, and that'll get another stoppage here and the necessity for a new ball, but there is a youngster dutifully heading down to send the ball back over onto the surface. Good for him. Not tons of fans on hand. It is an earlier start. It is the first crack of the day. And the extra ball put up into the time keep area. We're good to go, and possession belongs to the Shamrocks. Austin Hawkins had it for a moment, but that was broken up by Asmai, and now Sahai. He had it for a moment, bounced up off of his stick and out of play into the Shamrock bench, so it'll be a face-off just outside the Wolfpack zone. Lalani will take this draw for the Wolfpack. A quick stick by Brendan Weasley gets him in there, and with possession, there's a shot blocked in front, and the Wolfpack calling for someone to come to the ball. Sahai does. He's going to have to get back into position. The play is onside as Lalani jumped back over the blue line to make sure. Ball is knocked down, put high. Oh, and a crazy bounce in front. Ball is high in front. Lalani trying to get a stick on it and couldn't. Snapshot from the distance, and that one goes off of a stick. Sahai, he has the goal scorer Olin dropping down below the goal line, but he feeds it to the top of the umbrella. Shot towards goal, and that's swallowed up by Christopher Harris, and he's going to hang on for a stoppage. With 11:08 remaining here in the third period, still a 3-1 scoreline. Olin gets a couple of glove taps on the way off the surface. He's been very opportunistic offensively, and he's been very present defensively, and he's helped create a couple of turnovers. He's got a good size frame, and he's got good speed. Guerin from the face-off circle put it towards the goal, but it rolls in on Christopher Harris, who's right near the top of the red paint, and he'll cover that one up. They'll redo the face-off here. Pruill will take the face-off for the Shamrocks. McGregor in the dot. And that draw belongs to Pruill and the Shamrocks. In behind the goal Philippe Chaput calling to slow it down. Hold. And now they get the patient outlet. They'll work it off of the far side boards. Ryan Harrison tried to put on the brakes and put it across, but the speed of Guerin breaks that up, and he's got Patel with him, who puts it down below the goal line. McGregor, that pass towards the middle didn't make it. It didn't have the speed he wanted, so the Wolfpack, Allen back to recover in his own zone. He's got Penny Kidd as an option on his right. Tried to flip it forward. Stick wasn't high enough, they're saying. And Patel has the ball. Backhands it towards center. The ball was knocked with a high stick, though, in the case of Guerin, and he got the next touch on it, so that is going to be stopped because of the high stick knocked down by Guerin. So a face-off outside the Wolfpack blue line. Just about ready to enter the final 10 minutes here of the third. Ryan Harrison takes the face-off, and Cochran, who has a goal, he plays it back to Dyer. Goes D to D, and now Wilson off the boards. Good stick by Michael Pra, broke that up, and he's fighting for the ball along the boards. But the ball bounced up. There's a shot with some good heat on it there by Cochran. As mentioned, he has a goal in this one, and he's taking every opportunity. He had really good speed. He definitely had a step on both defenders as he was taking it around the circumference of the face-off circle there. He gets the ball in position and a quick shot. And I believe that was a great reactionary blocker save by Christopher Harris. Ball comes in on him dangerously. He played it to his defender, but initially they couldn't play it out. Michael Pra will get another chance here. Left shooting defender plays it up. That skipped over the stick of Harrison into the middle. Wilson avoids one check, but he can't get this away from the second. Ball is cleared in. Rowan has the ball, snaps it. Quick block by Pra, and he gets himself big in front of that shot. There's a cross ice play. Oh, and that one, a good sliding block there by the Shamrocks. Jarrell Jahal sliding to break up that play. That was a very good defensive play by Jahal. Ball played down below the goal line and out the other side. Good anticipation by David Crawford. Couldn't quite get it out, though, so they're going to have to try from the near side. And just taking their time now, the Shamrocks. Spencer Litton has a look down the floor, but opts for the near side. Sweeping pass. Too hard for anyone to control. And that turns it over. Sahai, he's got Lalani going to the middle. Pulls it backhand, and a big save by Christopher Harris. Oh, he got down and he read it beautifully on that give and go. Long stretch pass. Not quite quick enough. Maybe another half second would have got the job done. Sahai battling for the ball, moving in, got shoved off, and he tried a backhand attempt. That goes wide. Turns, little button hook, but ultimately the ball is knocked forward. Cole Williams getting the last touch defensively on that ball. Sahai stick handles around one, moves it towards the middle. Ball snapped high and over the goal. Sahai going to try and pick up the rebound in behind the goal. Takes a shove from Cole Williams. They battle along the boards. Sahai takes another shove. Loses his balance, but as he was playing the ball, he did lose possession, and it's moved down the floor. Brendan Weasley towards the goal, and he misses on the short side. Allen goes to go pick it up, but we've got a stoppage, and someone's getting called for slashing, and I think it's going against the Wolfpack. And I heard 5-2, so the man with his gloves outstretched, palms upward. He now finds out exactly what it was. It was a slash, and it's being assessed to Reese Mann, who gets the gate. 2 minutes for the slash. So an opportunity to try and make this a one-goal game. And I believe we've got a timeout called here. I'm not sure if it's the Wolfpack that called it, but if anything, probably just to rest up the troops a little bit here for what's going to be a little bit of an offensive onslaught, hopefully, for the Shamrocks. They were able to capitalize earlier on that power play right at the end of period number 2. And there's another window here that they could potentially take advantage of. Asking a lot out of their forward group, but they've shown already that they have the talent to move the ball quickly and to get the shot that they need. And even with a big goaltender like Daniels, they have been able to find some real estate to get it by him. Face off over to his left, and that is won by the Shamrocks. As they work it to the umbrella, there's a shot that was whiffed on the near side. Ball is in the corner now. Shamrocks trying to get a lane open here as they once again send it up top to Cole Williams. Cole Williams uses the near side. They're going to switch positions here. Cross floor pass, and it was tipped in front, and they do find some life. Hunter Daniluk with the tip in front, and he has given the Shamrocks a window that they desperately needed. They've got 6:51 to go, but they're only down a marker now. And that is a pretty important goal. So 2 goals on the power play. So the Shamrocks have shown themselves to be equally as lethal with the man advantage. And there was just too much confusion in front, and a great last-second tip by Hunter Daniluk. And the Shamrocks now have really made a game of this one with that marker just under 7 minutes to go here in the third. Battled by Josh Oland on the near side, and he's going to get on his horse and chase the ball down. Michael Prague goes D to D. Spencer Litton sends it back to him, and we'll get the return feed as they try and run out these forwards. But they got to be careful. One errant pass, and it could be a difficult position here for the Shamrocks. They fought so hard to get here. Lalani, there's a spinorama pass to Sahai. Shoots, blocked by the defender. And getting right down on the floor, Spencer Litton got the body down, shoves his man in behind the goal. Spencer Litton coming to life. Alex Haynes tried to get to the point in time, but now he's going to get an opportunity. Or will he? Diving defender tried to sweep it. Lalani couldn't get his stick on the ball, and it's chopped down. But Lalani gets back up as his defenders move the ball down the floor, and he'll send it the rest of the way in behind the goal. Look for discipline changes now. Line changes so key at this point in the game. Soft pass, rolls off the edge of the stick. And now out of the penalty box and able to rejoin the game. There's a shot on goal in that one. Spencer Mann getting it in. He gets some help from Randy Celli, who rips one in, but that was blocked in front. Sahai nearly got the rebound. And the Shamrocks 2-on-5 have to give their mates some time to get a change in, and they do. Ball is in deep. That's a good block on the near side wall. Ball is fired out. Kept in, though, by the Shamrocks into the high slot. There's a shot. The goaltender didn't know anything about it. He couldn't see it on his left. Guerin, one touch to himself off of the wall. Played it forward. Somehow made it work. Got it through to Raj Patel. Patel, that pass or shot pass goes off of his mate, but Guerin gets into position, recovers, back to Patel, high slot, shoots, and a great save up high, fighting it off, and Christopher Harris makes an important stop with 4:38 to go. He was already on his way down because he knew the angle was going to be sharp, and he makes a good stop. I think it might have even gotten him in the neck, somewhere near that neckish area. He had his shoulders shrugged up tight up against his body as he was trying to make that stop, but also just a natural human reflex to kind of wince as you're absorbing impact like that, but he makes the stop, and Christopher Harris keeps it a 1-goal game. Shot from distance, knocked down in front. Cochrane had a chance. Rebounds put up over the goal, and the Wolfpack really trying to find that security blanket goal here. Hard cross-floor pass. Doesn't find its target in Wilson, and now here's a potential partial break. Brendan Weasley takes a shot, but that was broken up on the good defensive play by Patel. He got all the way back. Oh, but he mishandles. Shamrocks load fire, and that one's wide of the goal. Shamrocks desperately seeking a goal. Towards the net, tipped in front, and oh, that one didn't miss by much. Last touch was Brendan Weasley, and he almost made it work. Wilson, does he have the speed? Trying to get around the defender, tried to pull it to his backhand, and a great sliding block by Kevin Mueller, and his goaltender gives him a whack with the stick saying thank you for that sliding block. Shamrock's still alive. Men's D division action as we get down to the last 3.5 here in the third period. It's a 3-2 lead for the Wolfpack. They had a 2-0 lead at one point. Both teams with a couple of power play goals. They've been very important, these man advantages. Lalani comes in support of his D, backhands it across the floor, and it's sent up in front of the Wolfpack bench, picked up by Lalani to Sahai. He's got one on the trail on the side, shoots. Oh, he was looking top corner, almost got there. Diving goaltender nearly knocks it away, and the ball is moving from the right side over to the near side. Sahai with control, shooting. He was looking for Lalani's stick in front. Michael Pra was covering him. I don't think he had enough leverage to get his stick on it. Pra tries to play it up. It bounces high and to the point. That's picked up by David Crawford. Sweeping pass to the middle. Crawford finds Jarrell Jahal. Couldn't stick handle into the middle. Kept alive. There's the chance. Loads, fires, and there's a block. Man getting in front of that one, plays it off of the board. Sahai. They lock in on him immediately. Good scrum along the boards. And Lalani jumps on the opportunistic ball. He's being joined in the middle. Saucers it in, and another diving block. That's 2 for Mueller, and he comes across. Actually, pardon me, on second guess, that's Jarrell Jahal with that slide. So the goaltenders had a couple of great forward returns sliding in to make a defensive play. Call for the ball at center. Return pass on the near side for Alex Haynes. Other side, shot ripped, rebound, and it was blocked in front by Dyer. Dyer has the ball underneath him, doesn't want to cover it. And the possession now goes to the Shamrock. Shot on goal, whistles wide of the target. Pruill in to pick it up. 1.5 minutes to go. Dyer, soft backhand, gets it out, and they just want to get it into the Shamrock zone and get off for a change, which they do. Shamrock's pressing now. Alex Haynes tried to stick handle past Chelly, couldn't get by him. There's a shot from distance, and that tests the left pad of the goaltender. On the near side, Guerin trying to force his way past the defender. No go, says Cole Williams. Joining the rush there, Olivier Girard. Thought he was interfered with there. Went down, but there's no call, especially at this stage. Shamrock's looking to pull. Yes, the goaltender's out. Cochrane turns. Lifted down surface. Is that enough? Oh, and it just goes wide of the post. A great long distance effort by Cochrane, and that would have been a couple. So just 39 seconds to go here in opening action on the big day, the semifinals and finals day of this Provincials tournament. And the Shamrocks want to have a little meeting here during this timeout. Cochrane still on the floor talking things over with the captain of the Wolfpack, Randy Chelly, who made a good defensive play not long ago and had a shot blocked as he tries to find some sort of offense to help seal things here for the Wolfpack. They had that 2-0 lead, and they're hoping to make like the Burnaby Blades last night in the B division. They had a similar scoreline. They were up 2-0, but they ultimately came out and won the game by a goal, even though there was a little window where they allowed a bit of a comeback from the Clappers Club, whom they unfortunately sent home from the tournament. The Clappers Club unable to get the goal differential they needed, and the Burnaby Blades, they will be in action at the Nanaimo Ice Center, I believe about 20 minutes time. I'll have to double check that, but it's a big day for action between here and the Nanaimo Ice Center. Is this the last face-off of the third? Ball is backhanded out by the Wolfpack. And you can hear the bench emphatically saying out. The goaltender still pulled for the Shamrocks. Cochran playing it high. And now not touching it was Chelly, and finally they do blow the whistle. And he was on purpose not touching the ball. And the referee, I believe, needed a half second to realize exactly who had touched that ball. So they are calling it an offside. So there'll be off of the high stick, pardon me. So because of the high stick now, this is interesting because it does move the face off right inside the Wolfpack zone. So this is a bit of a fortuitous call for the Kelowna Shamrocks. And they do have the extra attacker on the floor as they get set up here. Very important face-off. So there is one more. Austin Hawkins. He'll take this draw. He's up against Cochran. Wins the draw back. Up top. Cross ice. Now it's sent down the length of the floor, and that's about going to do it. Just 6.6 seconds. So time for one final face-off opportunity. And the Shamrocks will basically need a clear win or a stalemate for a moment and then get the ball towards the net. 6.6 seconds, so every second counting now here in this one-goal game. Semifinals and a trip to the finals on the line here. Austin Hawkins does win the draw to the top of the umbrella shot, and that rips wide, and I think that was the chance. I don't think they're going to be able to reload from the top. And the Shamrocks, a valiant last-second effort as they get the ball towards the net, but ultimately they weren't able to test Daniels with that final shot. Weren't able to get the lane through. And the 2-goal lead that they afforded the Wolfpack ultimately does come back to haunt the Kelowna Shamrocks, but they played valiantly, and I think that from a technical standpoint, they did everything that they needed to do to give themselves a chance to win. And I think it should be noted, especially forwards Kevin Mueller and Jarrell Jahal, both coming back. They were ready to make sacrifices for their club, sliding in front of blocks. And I mean sliding, like we're talking multiple foot slides on the floor to get in front of shots to help out their goaltender, Christopher Harris, who had a whale of a game. He, for my money, he was the best Shamrock on the floor. He made some sensational saves, including a breakaway save within the first 30 seconds off of Cochran from the Wolfpack. Rowan and Oland exchanging glove taps and helmet rubs. They're a happy club. They are headed on to the D Division Finals as Wilson and crew all line up on the blue line. There's Penny Kidd and Allen, McGregor and Lalani. Big Daniels, boy, he has got some kind of size. So far he's the biggest goalie I've seen in the tournament. And speaking of goalies, a shout out to Troy Gladysdahl for inviting myself to come join the festivities here at the Provincials here in Nanaimo, the BC Ball Hockey Provincials. And we are live here from the Frank Crane Arena, and we're about to award our players of the game from both sides. As I mentioned, I thought that the goaltending for the Shamrocks was top drawer. And not to take anything away from Daniels of the Wolfpack, but the degree of difficulty of saves was definitely high for Christopher Harris, who really got a baptism by fire. And the sticks tap and the acknowledgement made. Ryan Harrison, he was all over the floor, and he certainly did everything that was needed of him and more, especially from an offensive standpoint. He just made so many plays. Matthew Henderson gets the player of the game for the Wolfpack, and they head off with a 1-goal win intact, a 3-2 final here at the Frank Crane, as the Shamrocks fight valiantly, but they fall in another 1-goal contest. Can you believe it? All 3 games so far that I've called here at this tournament have been 1-goal games. Well, what's to be of our next game? We don't have to wait very long to find out. We're about 15 minutes away, so we're gonna pause up here for a moment. Want to say thank you again to the camera crew. We got Nathan and Alum helping keep things tickety-boo and running right before your very eyes here on the BC Ball Hockey Association YouTube channel. Thank you for being with us, and we've got more here today from the Frank Crane. It's semifinals and finals day here from the Frank Crane. I'm Lorenzo Jensen, and we'll be back with another one here just moments away from the Frank Crane Arena.